Those individuals that don't get why some people resort to conspiracy theories whenever something unusual happens, it's because of what has been done in the past that shows what they're capable of doing now. Let's take, for example, look at Operation Gladio, where they organized false flag attacks against communists by hiring and funding Nazis. If that's not direct enough, Operation Paperclip, where 1,600 Nazi German scientists were employed by the United States. If that's not enough, then look at Operation Bloodstone, where they used again Nazis to fight against the Soviets. If that's not enough, then let's look at Operation Washtub, where they planted Soviet weapons in Nicaragua to disparage President Jacobo Arbenz. And I haven't even mentioned Operation Northwoods, which was a proposed false flag attack. That's when you carry out an attack and you blame it on someone else. So this was a proposed false flag attack on civilians just so they could blame it on Cuba and go to war with them. Assalamu alaikum guys, and welcome to another episode of
Smile2jannah.
Andrew Tate's arrest has caused uproar, has caused celebration, depends which part of social media you're in. But if we are methodical and not emotional about this, bearing in mind that no one has the case file, so no one can really talk about whether he's innocent or whether he's guilty, they can only offer opinions, and bearing in mind that any form of control that is put forward by the government is first tried on polarizing figures. You saw Shamima Begum, everybody was able to give their opinion and say no, don't let her in. For the rest of us, it implied that any one of us that's born in this country with a dual nationality can be stripped of their citizenship. And lo and behold, what happened after that? Exactly this. Because of the threat of terrorism, we saw America put forward the Patriot Act. We saw Prevent here in the UK, Schedule 7. So you could see all of these powers being introduced to control and curtail us. Now, how on earth is this useful? Is this going to be another conspiracy video? No, I'm going to link everything. Let me give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Sunnah Currency. Now, from the advent of Islam, gold and silver has been used by the Prophet ﷺ as money. With the first Islamic mint struck in the reign of Uthman under the edict set by Umar radiallahu anh, the gold dinar and silver dirham will always be part of the Islamic monetary system. Sunnah Currency mints are meticulously designed and handcrafted into die molds. These designs are then struck onto our gold and silver mints under 50 to 100 tons of pressure, hand delivered to your doorstep worldwide. Click the link in the description to know more. Climate change is involved in this story. The T, I don't want to get flagged, is involved in this story, and of course we have our polarizing figure. And another thing that I wanted to say about Shamima Begum was that she was smuggled into Syria with the help of the Canadian Secret Service, and this individual was also responsible for smuggling another 140 people. And to who and to what? The ISIS. You know what I'm saying? And not to mention that they were majority British citizens. The Canadian Secret Service are linked with the United Kingdom, the United States, the New Zealand, Australian, they call the Five Eyes, yeah? So I guess what I'm trying to say is, let's not look at the figure here, let's look at the way the things have transpired, and let's also analyze what people are saying as well. Well, the first thing is women have come forward claiming that they have been approached by people to lie on the Tate brothers. And this is something that as Muslims we know as well has happened, where people have been hired by MI5 to spy on Muslims. The Canadian Secret Service that smuggled Shamima Begum into Syria was exactly this. He was somebody that wanted citizenship in Canada. The Canadians then approached him and then hired him. This is mentioned in the book Five Eyes by Richard Kabaj. The second thing was Greta Thunberg, yeah? You had this back and forth going between Tate and Greta Thunberg. This issue has been used to hail her as some climate hero, and this has been used to elevate her. People that are looking into ways of control and coercion that governments are using, I've already mentioned a few. Another is climate. Just like viruses are of course bad and curing them is good, but it's not as simple as bad and good, because on the one hand you're going above and beyond to put a certain narrative across. For example, curing the virus is of course priority, but the way it's being done and with the lack of research and then presenting it as fact, that's wrong, of course. So it's the same with the climate. It's being exacerbated, just like the tea threat as well. All of these forms of control are exacerbated. So there's elements of truth. So when you question these things, you're seen as an idiot, a moron, like it's obvious, duh, global warming. Yeah, okay, but when you take it to the extent that it's being used to coerce you into staying at home, not being allowed to travel because of certain emissions or whatnot, that's what becomes an issue. And that's why even when Tate is arrested, the word tea is also used as well. Tea was used against polarizing figures, people that we know, we hate. Oh, the guy's got a hook hand. Oh, he's covering his eye. He looks weird. He's got a big beard. If you say something in schools, it's going to be used against people that disagree with other narratives as well. The other thing was the pizza box. They only found out that he's in the country because of a pizza box. Really? Are people actually believing this? Like, when you enter a country, they have their border control. They have the documentation that you have to process before entering that country. You cannot enter that country without the authorities knowing you are in the country, you're out the country. And to claim they found out from a pizza box is actually disrespectful to the Romanian government, I would say. To say that, no, they're not paying attention at the borders, but hey, Tate releases a video, yo. The other thing is, Romania is a country that has been used as a CIA black site. That's where they send people over to get them tortured because America can't do it themselves and other countries have lax laws on human rights and torture. So Romania has been one of those countries, and so has Poland. So this is to say that the country can be leveraged by, of course, the United States. And it's been mentioned in the news that the issue did reach the US Embassy and they got involved. So to assume United States foul play being involved here is not outlandish. And this is, of course, not to mention, look, we're not saying the guy is right, the guy is wrong. I've just stuck with the point that he's a polarizing figure. Yeah. Why is he a polarizing figure? He's spoken against taxes. He's spoken against multinational corporations like Nike and talked about them and how they avoid tax. He's talked about abuse, I can't mention certain words, of Balenciaga. Yeah, he's the one that kind of popularized it. He's talked against atheism, against pornography. He's talked about taking control of your family, being a strong man, masculine, looking after your dependents. Yes, there have been clips that have been taken out of context. I mean, you can take anyone's clips out of context. So again, it's not outlandish to assume that he has cheesed off some powerful people. But again, some people might be like, because look, I mean, who are the powerful people? Yeah. On the one hand, you've got somebody like Tate who makes videos, you know what I'm saying? And he's just reaching the people. But on the other hand, you have banks. Yeah. You have people that actually have leverage. You've got like Epstein and Prince Andrew and stuff like that. Now, those sorts of people actually have power. I wouldn't say Tate has power to that level the way people are trying. Has he pissed off certain people? Yeah, of course he has. But the issue at hand here is that alongside this story, you've got another story of JP Morgan. Oh yes, one of the biggest banks that we know. And it's come in the news that these people have been seeking dismissals of lawsuits by Epstein's accusers, yeah? And it's not just JP Morgan, it's Deutsche Bank as well. So these are like major institutions that are trying to just clear away the whole Epstein thing as well, which is nuts. This should be, if you really care about abuse and trafficking and stuff like that, like, I'm sorry, you should be saying this hand to hand with what's going on, hand to hand. But you know what it is? Because Tate's a polarizing figure, people are going to jump on this. People are going to say, yes, good. They're not going to look at what's taking place and what this could mean for the rest of us. No. He's there for 30 days. Oh, no problem. Why is the word terrorism being used? Why is it that after he's converted to Islam? Why is it that when it took place, his arrest, look at the pictures that are there. It's like the media was present, and look at the way it's been photographed. The way he's sitting in the car, he's in the middle. That's enough for the photographer to go there and get a picture. Who does that? Are you ever seated in the middle? And again, if we talk about abuse, on the one hand, you've got people that go against the establishment. Like you've got Julian Assange, yeah? He had a website called WikiLeaks in which he platformed leaks that were done that made governments like the United States look really bad. So lo and behold, a woman came forward and said, yep, I've been abused by him as well. Same that we're seeing with Tate. But on the other hand, we saw Balenciaga, the famous brand. What happened with them? And their BDSM dolls? Nothing really. What's going to happen to JP Morgan? No, people aren't even going to talk about it. What's happened to Epstein's list of clients? Nothing. Yeah. What happened to Prince Andrew? The guy's still walking around like happy days. So I just wanted to mention some of these things, and for us not to get carried away in the media frenzy. Now also on the other extreme, you've got people that are saying, yeah, no, he's definitely not done anything. You know, I know the guy. Look, that you can't say that either. Like, just because you know the guy doesn't mean that you know everything that he does. Like, that doesn't make sense either. Another thing is, oh, he said it would happen. Oh, therefore he predicted it. No, I mean, if you're talking about certain issues, you know at the back of your head that, look, it's only a matter of time till these people wisen up and realize how much money they're losing, and they send somebody around or they make a few phone calls and then Bob's your uncle, mate. It's been happening since day dot. And the other thing that I wanted to mention was the hand sign as well. Some people are saying, oh, what could it mean? Is he part of them, or is he this? No, his father used to do it. His father was a grandmaster in chess or something, and he looks up to his father and he does that. Even if you do go into the symbolism of this, it's a mudra for power. Yeah, it's one of these yogic signs or whatever. And yeah, those people that are saying, yeah, so what if you speak against power? It's freedom of speech. You can do what you want. No, don't say stuff like this, because it's nonsense. Yeah, Edward Snowden blew the whistle on the NSA in the US. Issues happen for that guy. You know what I'm saying? He is now in Russia. If he goes back to the US, he's finished. Yeah, look at Gary Webb. Look at, again, Julian Assange. Yeah, look at Catherine Gunn. Look at Daniel Ellsberg. All of these people went against the government. Yeah, went against the powers. You had even democratically elected leaders that went against certain corporations, like Mohammad Mossadegh. Yeah, he was a democratically elected leader of Iran, but he was overthrown by the UK and US because he went against BP. He wanted to nationalize the oil. Yeah, it's the same. It was another corporation that Allende of Chile pissed off. Yeah, Lumumba of Congo pissed off the wrong people as well. They were democratically elected, but they peed off the wrong people and then they got knocked off. So people that believe in conspiracies and stuff like that, it comes from a logical place. Yeah, and especially if you're not white. It's been happening to us from day dot, you know what I mean? So before people start making you out to be some nut job, no, you know what? It actually makes sense. I can see where you're coming from, but I would err on the side of caution as well, not to go on either extremes. They say the truth lies between both extremes. Let's leave it there, guys. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum.